When it's time to fight, will you be ready? When the time comes, will you stand united? It's time to start a fight. Paragon, play for free now.
Shake it, Scott Butterworth. Duke Nukem 3D is back. It's got a new name. It's called Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour.
Yep, nicely done. Boom.
Did it.
Headshot.
Yeah, hail to the
10
king,
points to Gryffindor.
baby. That's definitely a Duke reference.
Yeah.
We got to play it a bunch. We went into a hotel room.
Not in a creepy way.
Got out with all of our limbs and organs.
In clothing.
Yep.
But I got to play for like 30 minutes. You got to play for 45 minutes or something?
Yeah, we were just kind of sitting there chatting with the developers about what they've kind of done with the game and got to even play one of the new levels. There are 8 new levels.
Which we can't talk about yet.
Which I wasn't going to segue into that. But yeah, there are 8 new levels from a couple of the original designers, which is really cool. They actually got some of the bands back together. John St. John re-recorded all of his lines.
Yeah.
The voice of Duke, the original composer Lee Jackson came back and did some new music. A couple of the key designers are back to do new level stuff. And from what I understand, all of the new levels are kind of just remixing old assets. They've added very little because they wanted it to feel like, oh, this could have come out in 1996, 97.
And one of the things that they've added, which you just saw in that gameplay a second ago, was the ability to, well, they've redone it in an entirely new engine. So I mean, it kind of doesn't look like it because they've tried to stay as true to the original Duke as possible. But this is it's got 3D buildings in it and 3D environments. And the original was using all manner of weird magicry to make it look like it was 3D. And when you look up at the buildings and it does this like crazy perspective thing, it looks like you've got like vertigo. When you switch into the new version, it doesn't do that. But they seem to have struck a pretty good balance between like true to form, like the way your sort of nostalgia remembers it as opposed to how it actually looked. But if you want, you can just swap back straight away by hitting down on the D-pad, I think. And it's on the fly, like it'll switch back and forth seamlessly, which is kind of cool. I think I do it here actually in a second. They've got there, look, boom, that's what it used to look like. And this is great for the podcast listeners. By the way.
Look at that hot billiards action.
Yeah, and it's basically Duke. Like it's straight off. Yeah, has the same. It's one for one. One of the weird things in this level, we went into a bar and I did not notice this when I was a kid, but there is a television with a white Bronco. Yeah, it's a fucking OJ reference.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was watching the footage.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's totally an OJ reference," and they weren't like subtle about it at all. Like, "Yep, that's what that was."
Yeah, so they kept all that stuff in. So one of the additions to this though is developer commentary.
Which is pretty cool the way they've done it actually. Like they've just dotted icons around the environments and you just walk up to these little speaker icons and hit play and you'll just have somebody talking in your ear about that specific part of the world. It's kind of interesting the way they've done it. It's cool to get those insights.
Yeah, fans of Portal and Half-Life will remember those because that was the same way that Valve put them into those games. But I will say that from what we listened to, they sound like a lot more off the cuff, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
It's basically just like Randy Pitchford and a bunch of like the developers just like riffing it.
Yeah, it was Alan Blum and who's the other Richard Level-Lord, whose last name I can't remember right now.
Level-Lord. I think he's changed it to Level-Lord now.
Officially, legally changed his name.
Richard
Level-Lord. That's Mr. Level-Lord to you. It's great. The stuff we were listening to was very unvarnished. Like, it was just super off the cuff. Like, there's one point where Randy Pitchford's like, "Oh, watch this," as if we're actually watching him play. And it's like, that's not really how this works. So it's kind of great that it's just so off the cuff. It was pretty fun to just listen to.
Like a weird riff track. So it's got the replay mechanic, which I think was in the
360 version,
the console version of which Megaton, right? Edition.
No, so Megaton was the sort of like supposedly definitive edition that was available on Good Old Games up until about a year ago, and then there was some lawsuit shenanigans.
Yes.
So the rewind mechanic was introduced in the 360 version. They've now kind of improved it. So for people who aren't familiar, Duke 3D, way back in the day, if you died, you started over because it was that kind of game. Yeah. So at one point during...
you started over in the level.
Yeah, correct. So during one of the many, many reissues of this game, a rewind mechanic was added. So if you died, you could actually back up your play session by a few seconds and go, like, you could not die and not have to restart. So they've actually not only included that, but improved it. But I think they have left out some of the content that was available in Megaton. I should like double check and
this
clarify.
This one is basically just the 4 original chapters, and then this new one, which is embargoed at the moment, but we'll be able to talk about.
Yeah, so to be clear, like it's Duke 3D, the first 4 chapters, and 8 new levels. That's what's in this edition.
And the replay mechanic, you can go back to the start of the level as well.
Yeah, you can back. Yeah, it's actually pretty lenient in what it allows you to do.
And that's pretty much it. Like there's not really much else to say about this. If you're a fan of Duke Nukem 3D, I think this is an interesting thing to go back to. I think they're pricing it $20.
I believe it's $20, and it's out in October. It's out early October, so you don't have to wait long to try it out for yourself. And I know that later this month we'll have some more information about the new levels, which we can't share yet, but it'll be available on GameSpot.com.
Yeah.
Is it weird? I feel like now is the right time
for Duke,
like a Duke.
Well, it's the 20th anniversary.
20 years.
Not like that. You know what I mean? Like,
but why? Because it is weird, right? Because it's also a game where you're in like a movie theater where it is like weird. It's like a porn theater, and then
you walk into a strip club with a girl masturbating on stage. Like I was watching the video, her hand is going up and down. Like they're not hiding anything. You walk up to a random woman, give her money, and say, "Shake it, baby." Yeah. She's not even on stage. She's just hanging out.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the weird one. Just like the girl standing in the corner of a bar. She's like,
like
she takes the money.
So I played this game when I was probably like 10 years, 11 years old.
Yeah,
you know?
probably, right?
And it was my dad who showed it to me. And looking back now, I was like,
really?
Oh, he was weird. Like I think I saw Terminator 2 when I was like 7. Like he just let me just have all the media I wanted.
I remember watching RoboCop with my dad when I was like way too young to be watching RoboCop. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how my mom let this one slip by.
Well, I mean, video games are for children, right? It might have been one of those.
But like Duke Nukem is one of those series that like sure there have been some efforts to like make it relevant again, but none of them really struck a nerve. And I feel like just, you know what, let's redo the one like you were saying, like, and make it look the way that we probably remember it.
Yeah, which is an interesting
fictional memory of it.
Yeah, no, I was actually Ron Gilbert, the designer of Maniac Mansion. I was talking to him about his new game, Thimbleweed Park, a few months ago, GDC, and it was this whole idea of, well, we want this game to feel like how you remember those games feeling, because you don't remember them as accurately as you think you do. So this is kind of the same thing, where it's like, if you were to go back and play the unpolished original version, you'd be like, oh my god, this is practically unplayable. So this is now a kind of definitive version that should look and feel how you remember it looking.
And if you don't, then you can just hit down and remember and go, ugh, and then go back to the new
But you need to play it on a big honking CRT
with like
computer
a round
that just hums constantly.
Which I know you still have at least a couple of those,
probably,
right, Peter?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Fair play. That's it. Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour.
It's a lot of words.
Do you know the release date for that one, Scott?
I don't remember the exact day. I know that it's early October, probably around the same time as Gears.
Cool.
I'll have to double check on the date.
In October.
They can check GameSpot.com.
What's the acronym for that? DM3D2AWT?
Wait.
DN3D2AWT.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, that sounded accurate.
Tight.
I have no idea.
3D, what was it?
2AWD. No, WT.
2A.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this, fans.
It's important work.
Leave it to us.
I'm gonna change the 3 to a T as well. So it's Dint Twat.
Sounds like a URL.
Dint Twat.
Well, that's a bit inappropriate sounding.
Dint Twat.
You might want to.
Dint Twat.
Nope. That's,
that word means something here.
It does.
Dint Twat.